Good day, AVZ Traders. I trust you are well. Welcome to broadcast number 43. Dr. George Nyabatsa here. I want to talk to you about the AVZ of Trading basics for building wealth wisely. We are all in the markets to create personal wealth, to build personal wealth. But the AVZ of Trading is all about building wealth wisely. We don't want to come to the market and stress and struggle and hate what we're doing. We want to absolutely enjoy the process of building wealth wisely. Now, in order to do that, we have to use this amazing tool that we all have been blessed with, the human brain, plus everything in the central nervous system. And why do I say that? Because it is proven medically that in our central nervous system, let's talk of the brain and the spinal cord, we all have 100 billion neurons. And in each of these neurons is 100 billion atoms. Now, that is a lot of atoms. 100 billion atoms times 100 billion neurons. I mean, you're going to be talking of 100 trillion neurons. Of course, depending if you define a billion with 6 zeros or 7 zeros. Doesn't really matter. It is a lot of neurons that we have. And the beautiful thing about it is that we have a way to manage our brain and central nervous system. We can learn to use more and more of our human brain. Let's just keep it very simple. And how do we do that? Well, it is very simple for us to do that. Firstly, we've got to recognize that the way that we act, the way that we behave, 90% of it is subconscious or unconscious. We just end up doing stuff. So when you come to the market, we're ready to do everything right, but we find ourselves getting caught in this spiral of negativity. Call it what you want: fear, greed, anxiety, stress. It does not matter. The fact is we are doing things that we don't want to be doing, and we wonder, why is this happening? I'm a pretty smart person, but why am I doing what I am doing? Well, it is simply because your neural constructs, that is the sum total of those 100 billion neurons, which have 100 billion atoms in each neuron, are all organized in certain ways in our physiology, in our body, and in our psychological being, in our mind, will, and emotions. Now, that's all because of our genes, our heritage, our culture, our philosophy, our self-image, and everything that either has been imposed upon us by our environment or we have brought into us through our experience, our education, our choices, our behaviors. It really doesn't matter. The fact is you are here and your neural constructs are governing your behavior. Now, as far as trading is concerned, if we want to build wealth wisely and enjoy what we are doing, we have to understand how our behaviors come into being, how the way that we act comes into being. And it is simply the basics that we do over and over and over and over again eventually become habits of thought. Okay, the basics become habits of thought. If you have a negative behavior that you want to get rid of, think of anything. I'm not going to point it out. I don't want to offend anyone. Some let's say, man, if only I stopped doing this or overindulging in this or that or whatever, life would be much better. No, it didn't just start by you overindulging in that particular thing that you now want to get rid of. It started off as the first taste, first sample, first basic, first experience. And if you did that over and over and over and over again, it eventually became a habit of thought. And habits of thought eventually become habits of action. Habits of action create our results in life. So if we want to build wealth wisely, we have to go back and find the basics of the AVZ of trading and just do that over and over and over and over and over and over again, day in, day out, week in, week out, building the basket of trades over and over again and filling that basket of trades by doing the basics, because eventually the basics become habits of thought. The habits of thought become habits of action. The habits of action build wealth wisely. It just makes our job easier. So let's go through them. Here are the AVZ of Trading Basics. I can assure you've never heard of anyone presenting this because I'm the only one talking of the AVZ of Trading and the AVZ of AVZ Strategy. So the primary rule of craftsmanship is this. This is number one, absolutely critical. The signal breakout trend candle is only valid when it is closed as a breakout trend candle. If you executing trades before it has closed, it is not what you think it is because the information is not complete. You have to wait for the candle to close. 15 minutes. You can get up, go grab a cup of coffee. You can walk around, get some sunshine, breathe some fresh air, do whatever and still come back. Wait for the candle to close. That's the primary rule of craftsmanship, basic number one. Basic number two, strategy number one, and strategy number one at the open signals, they must open and close on their lows and highs. You can allow micro tails. Don't go and measure it. Just look at the body. If it's a big body, it's got a small tail, very small tail at the top, at the bottom is perfectly fine. Probabilities are staked up in your favor. When that tail at the close is getting big, it's a quarter, it's a third, you must just know, okay, there's something wrong here. Let me just wait. This is for strategy number one and strategy number one at the open. The signals must open and close on their lows and the highs. That is basic number two. Now, basic number three, strategy number two, signals. Of course, we'll have tails, some of them. Some are breakout trend candles, fantastic. Some are high test, low test, going to have a tail. Some are dodges, as you've seen in the videos that I sent you. So they'll have tails, so we're not worried about tails here. But strategy number two, signals are preceded. They have to be preceded. They have to come after strategy number one, breakouts, or strategy number one at the open breakouts, or a gradual trend. Basic number four, be very strict with the signal patterns. 1 times risk reward clearance to all key levels. Everything can set up pristinely, but if you don't have the 1 times risk reward clearance to all key levels, do not trade. Now, where does that 1 times, how do we measure the 1 times risk reward clearance to all key levels? We use the signal pattern. Remember I said be strict with the signal patterns, 1 times risk reward. Now, just give this thought. The signal pattern may be a large breakout trend candle. If you are using its extreme as a stop level, that becomes your signal pattern. But the signal pattern may also be the signal candle itself and its preceding pattern. So like when you trade in strategy number two, we have a signal breakout trend candle, we have a low and a high. So that becomes the whole pattern that you want to have 1 times risk reward to the key level. So the signal pattern and preceding pattern may be high, low, low, high. Could be a tight trading range. You have a signal candle outside of a tight trading range. You may want to use a tight trading range and the signal pattern as well. It could be several breakout trend candles in the breakout sequence, 2, 3, 4, whatever you're choosing. So be very strict. If you don't have the 1 times risk reward clearance, do not take the trade because you're not going to have enough time to do your risk management. So it is not worth it. Filter out trades. Basic number 5. Ranges along key levels are profitable opportunities for strategy number one or strategy number one at the open end. Key levels are high of yesterday, low of yesterday. Guys, you know what we're talking about here. High of today, low of today, hidden resistance levels, hidden support levels, which are measured moves. Leg 1 equals to leg 2. Now, ranges along key levels. When I say range, overlapping candles, and you can see big breakout trend candles, high test, low test, everything within there. But do not trade within it and get chopped and changed within it, unless, of course, if you get a setup and, it's like strategy number one, mid to lower or upper to lower. If you have 1 times risk reward to a key level, then you can trade. But ranges, don't get caught up within them. Just know, my goodness, this is absolutely fantastic. I have opportunities here. Key levels they are key level profitable opportunities to make a ton of money. If strategy number one or strategy number one at the open sets up for me, and the key levels are here. You've got to know these key levels. And some of these are invisible because you put in measured moves, leg one, leg two. That is basics number 5. Basic number 6, absolutely critical as the others are. AVZ strategies are based on the 15-minute charts, the 5-minute charts. Therefore, stay on the 15-minute chart for everything. Please do not drill down to the 5-minute chart, the 10-minute chart, the 7-minute chart, the 3-minute chart, the 1-minute chart for anything. You will get contrary signals and you will end up making silly decisions. You may say, oh, I've broken even, but when you look at it on the 15, it was just an easy test of a level and you could have made a ton of money. So stay on the 15. Do not go up to the 30-minute, 45-minute, hourly, 4-hourly, etc. Do not even go up to the daily because we have the high of yesterday, low of yesterday. We have our AVZs in place. Stay on the 15-minute chart. Make your decisions there. Enjoy life there. Experience it there. And that is all you need for peace of mind. AVZ strategies are based on the 15-minute charts. Now, absolutely clear, guys, this is what we have. All right, now, here comes basic number 7. Improve this, you've got to do, guys. I pray thee. I think I read that in some Shakespeare book. I pray thee, I beg you. You have to do this. Improve your wealth building skills week by week by performing the weekly performance review. You have to do the weekly performance review for yourself. Go into MT4, go into history, right click the beginning of the week to the end of the week, and boom, it shows you all the trades that you have taken. Save it as a report and then go through trade by trade. Remember how I do my PowerPoint slides, drag the trade into the chart and then do a screenshot, review every trade taken, review your charts and see what opportunities you missed, and then rework this week's profit potential. You will be shocked. When I do this and I'm trying to improve myself, I say, my goodness, was there so much money in the market? You know, I started off, I made money, it's a good week, but I could have made potentially more by doing the basics, by making sure I do the things the right way. So every week you're running a business. This is your business. You have to invest the time as long as it takes. Sacrifice some part of your Saturday or your Sunday and do a weekly performance review. All trades taken. Why did I take this trade? What strategy was it? Where did I trail my stop to? Why did I do that? Make notes. Okay, next week I'm going to just have to follow the basics of the AVZ of trading. This is all it is. Strategy number 7 is making sure you follow the AVZ of trading and the AVZ strategies to build wealth wisely. It is as simple as that. You can make a ton of money, pay for yourself to live the life that you want, create the wealth that you need, do this full time, etc., etc. So this is Dr. George Nyabadza, and as I wrap up, I'm reminding you, basics of AVZ trading become habits of thought. Habits of thought become habits of action, and habits of action lead us to build wealth wisely. Name is Dr. George. Absolutely. Thank you very much, guys. Keep up the good work. Follow the basics. Send me cues, questions by email, and I'll answer them. 43 videos in our AVZ video library. This is absolutely awesome. Dr. George, I shall catch up with you again. Bye-bye.